Hey, Beaches, it's Charlie Reaches in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yo, pass me a cigarette till you roll stop me taking too long. Alright. This is for the gram. Make sure you go to Charlotte Preaches YouTube, whatever, you know what I'm saying. IG television, we trying to get that blue check. We on our way to 1 million. Alright, so y'all, today we're reacting to Trisha Potatoes. But she got the yams. She bad. She crazy, but she bad. Now we're gonna react to this for y'all, so be prepared for some funny shit. Let's get it. Mrs. Potatoes, take one.
Okay, watching Tati Westbrook, a YouTuber in her 30s, older than myself, I'm also 32, but in her late 30s, make this video right now is actually crazy. Now, two things I'm gonna say off for the record, right off the bat. I don't defend Shane's underage jokes and his racist jokes. He's my friend. I won't turn my back on him. I love him. I don't support those things. Okay. Wasn't involved in this beauty community drama, so I'm looking at this from an outside perspective. And two, this has nothing to do with my friendship with Jeffree Star. If anything, that Vegas trip, I came home in tears. I was crying. I was upset. Those DMs were real to that guy. It was not a good trip, and then he just confirmed what I felt on that trip. It was not good. So I'm not defending Jeffree because I don't know Jeffree like I know Shane. Shane's a good person, and like I said, I wasn't involved with this, so I haven't even gotten like that deep into it yet. But Tati is saying she made a video because she was manipulated by 2 grown adults. In that video, Tati, you accused James Charles of being a sexual predator, of sexual crimes. You should be investigated for making false criminal claims. You can't backtrack. You can't say someone else told me to do it. That came out of your mouth. That was your first started video. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I wasn't involved. But if someone's like pushing you to do a video or pushing you that way, you're a grown-ass woman. You're probably damn near 40. You can make that decision yourself. And why now are you deciding to speak up? Because it's cool to hate Shane and Jeffree?
Well,
is that why you're deciding to speak up? Why didn't you speak up about it in December? Why didn't you speak at all during Black Lives Matters? All your comments in your video are, hey, let's get justice for Breonna Taylor, and yet you didn't mention one thing. Were you scared to mention George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Black Lives Matter in June because of this scandal? It's bullshit. Like, it's such bullshit right up the bat. And again, I'm not defending Shane in this. I don't know what's happening, and I'm sure as hell ain't defending Jeffree. But think of the grand scheme of things here. We are in the midst of a pandemic, of a racial movement, and this girl is concerned about letting people know that she was kind of pushed into doing a video about James Charles. Bitch, you were salty as fuck that he promoted a different hair company, a hair vitamin. I don't even know what the fuck. You were bitter. Like, just say that. And you threw in the sexual assault. You went above and beyond to be like, hey, I heard you were a sexual predator, trying to get, like you said yourself, he was at your dinner table saying how he was trying to get straight guys and trick them or whatever the fuck you said. This is crazy. This is so crazy to see this. I think, yeah, you know what? I think a lot of people should take accountability and own up to shit. And guess what? Shane's YouTube has been demonetized. Shane's not going to be posting on social media. His you know, he's taken the punishment of whatever crimes, which aren't even criminal, of just really poor, disgusting, tasteless comments and jokes that he's taking responsibility.
Because I know niggas gonna try to drag a bitch in the comment section. Nigga, the potatoes thing was an insult when I first heard it, but I'm not using that because I think she is a whole meal and a half. So potatoes is just a way of saying that she has a body, okay, people? So don't be snapping. Y'all get on my nerves.
We haven't heard shit from Jeffree. But now we're hearing from this girl that she's scared, and in the midst of all this crazy shit in the world, she's bringing it back to fucking last year and being like, actually, I was like kind of manipulated into doing this video. Bitch, what you did is a crime. You falsely accused someone else of sexual assault. you should be investigated. Apology to James is that she allowed herself to be poisoned and weaponized against you. Your apology to James should be like, hey, I'm sorry I accused you of being a sexual predator, something you could go to jail for. That should be your apology, because you just said, not 2 seconds before this, that you know you're a grown woman and you're smart. Apologize for, yeah, I was fucking bitter that you promoted a fucking hair vitamin bullshit, whatever the fuck. And then I'm also sorry that I accused you of being a sexual predator. And that's also now what he's being accused of, because you started that video and you put that out there. You heard that there was victims coming out about James Charles. So in order to get his phone down, you decided to make the biggest hit piece in the history of YouTube. So, okay, so was it Shane and Jeffree who pushed you to the video? Or were you scared that sexual victims were about to come out, so you wanted him to put his phone down by making a crazy hit piece from one of his best friends? If you were that concerned for him to put his phone down, maybe call and be like, hey, I heard that you were a sexual predator and victims are coming out. Like, be prepared. Not let me also put 55 million people against you. And she says the only reason she took that video down was per the request of YouTube, saying it was a bad look for them. That's why you took it down, bitch? You didn't feel sorry? Like, you weren't like, oh, yeah, I fucked up. You didn't reissue an apology to James publicly until now, until Shane and Jeffree are in hot water. You could have reissued an apology to James even in December if you felt like your safety was at risk. Someone who's also been overly dramatic over stupid situations like this, like you collabing with Jeffree Star and Jackie Aina not liking it, and just like just so much bullshit. Like, she's literally crying and pausing to cry because she paused to cry right before she mentions trying to connect Jeffree with a charity, thinking that could help him. And she goes, I just realized he can't change. You don't need to cry over this stuff. You know what we can cry over? Cops not arresting Breonna Taylor. Like, your comments say, how about mention that once? You mentioned your charity. How about mentioning Black Lives Matter movement? Because when all that was happening, you were still silent. You were the only person online that didn't say a fucking thing. I wonder why. Like, I wonder why. Like, honestly, all of this stuff, like the fact that she's crying over this stuff, when literally, still to this day, there's no justice for Breonna Taylor and other Black people who have lost their lives with zero justice for their killers for doing nothing but being Black. But yet she's crying over hair vitamins, her friendship with Jeffree, and how she thinks Shane and Jeffree, who she's only met Shane one time, bullied her into this video. Again, I want to make something clear. I'm not deflecting or defending past behaviors. I will say it again. Like, Shane owned up to his shit, still waiting for Jeffree's apology. I will make it clear that Shane is literally my brother. I will never stop loving him. Like, it's like my family, it's like my mother, it's like my sister. If any of this has happened, I'm not gonna just be like, well, fuck off. Jeffree, on the other hand, there was a lot of shady shit. It's petty shit. It's shit that I did not address. Okay, that I did not address. And I can apologize. I can apologize without fucking crying right now, okay? Because I'm 32 fucking years old. Okay, I can apologize to Tab. I wasn't, like, the DMs I sent him were real. I apologize for saying that they weren't. They were real. I did have a horrible, horrible experience. Not horrible. I had some horrible experiences in Vegas, but the overall experience wasn't bad. But for me, that's petty shit compared to what's going on in 2020, that I didn't feel the need to just say this. Nevertheless, cry over such bullshit. Okay, now